Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson, author of Race Pimping, the Multi-Trillion-Dollar Business of Liberalism. It will keep the surprises from happening to you. You'll understand how things work in the world of politics. Let me tell you what's happening right now, people. The left are in a conniption. It's funny, I was looking at clips and they said that it was like, the White House is in turmoil. I can only imagine what's going on inside of the White House. And I'm thinking, are you kidding? The White House is, I mean, they are a smooth sailing ship. That's what the White House is. It was a leftist that's saying that the White House is in turmoil. What that leftist was saying is that the left are in turmoil. The left have so many more shoes to drop. They don't know where they're going to come from. You want to talk about the element of surprise. Imagine a meteor shower and you're in the middle of it. The best thing for you to do is stand still because you don't know where that next meteor is going to hit. Political shoes are about to drop. Entertainment shoes are about to drop. Policy shoes. I mean, think about it. We aren't done with the Weinstein Hollywood stuff. We're on hiatus temporarily. We're not done with the Conyers stuff and Al Franken and the host of others. And let me tell you something. There are lots more out there looming. They're afraid. And as far as policy goes, every single thing that comes out from the Obama administration ends up being horrible for them. The Steinle verdict, do you think that helps the cause of the left? I've got a clip. I'll play it in the next segment because it's worth discussing. You know what? Let's just do it now. It's a clip from Don Lemon's show. It's a guy by the name of Curtis Blow who writes for the New York Times. And I want you to hear his explanation of the Steinle verdict, and then we'll go into some of these other issues.
Charles, this case, it was central to the Trump campaign, his presidential campaign. It turns out the jury saw the set of facts very differently with this verdict than most people thought how it would turn out.
Right. So first of all, I just want to say this. It's a tragedy either way for her family and for her. She's gone, obviously, but for her family who's still here and mourning her. But I do believe that the president was using him as a way to project a pathology onto all Mexicans or all immigrants or even all Mexican immigrants who might even be criminal. And I see that happen over and over and over again, but only happen among people of color. Mm-hmm. It happened with him and Mexican. It happened with black people and Willie Horton. It happens with Muslim people and every Muslim who commits an act of violence or terror. It never happens with white people. That guy can shoot how many ever hundreds of people he shot in Vegas, and we will never say that this is proof of white pathology. We will never say that, but we will hone in on this guy, right or wrong, whatever he did, and project onto the rest of the immigrant population that this is the reason that we have to do something about the rest of them. Him, he epitomizes their pathology. That, at its core, is what racism looks like when you don't use the slur, but you project onto the population.
Welcome back, everybody. So I'm watching that clip, and Ed Martin's a friend of mine, works for the Eagle Forum, and he's sitting there with Charles Blow, and he's just letting Charles speak, and that's fine. I didn't watch the whole clip. But what's funny to me is Charles Blow says that Donald Trump is using this Mexican dude, Zareta, in order to project a pathology onto all Mexicans. And then he goes on to contend that it only happens to people of color. And apparently the Willie Horton ad that was run years ago, which most people probably don't even know the reference, is a projection of onto black people. Any acts of terror are projections on the Muslim people. And what's funny there is he didn't just single out any single act of terror. That's what's funny about that. Nor with blacks did he single out anything that blacks do. He singled out the Willie Horton. He was released from prison, and then he upon release from it by a Democrat, he went out and killed other people. So ergo, that was a projection on to blacks, of all blacks. But he says it doesn't happen with whites. If Bundy goes out and serial kills, nobody says that, most white people are serial killers. I know I've never heard that, right? Or most, dry, big gun violent things are done by white people. I've never heard anything like that, right? He's telling you, you don't hear that stuff, which of course you do. But I love what he says, that this guy, we have to take this Zareta guy and we have to make him epitomize the issue, epitomize whatever the problem is. Well, here's the problem, Curtis. There are 11 million people that have illegally come into this country, or more, probably more than that are illegally in the United States. And a fairly good-sized percentage of them are committing crimes. And this guy did. And who do they commit crimes against? Are they just committing crimes within their own community, the illegal community, or are they committing crimes against citizens? And so this idea that Donald Trump is projecting something, Donald Trump is addressing an issue that should have been addressed years ago. Everybody knows this. Let me put it to you this way. If Barack Obama were president right now, I called him Curtis Blow. Curtis Blow was one of the first rappers. Anyway, Charles Blow would have nothing to say. Well, and for the record, what would Obama say if Kate Steinle were killed by an illegal who got a gun and decided he was going to fire it at a SEAL? That's what they were talking about. Why would you do that? If I'm a black man in America, I find a handgun, I pick it up, I fire it at a SEAL, and I kill anybody, I guarantee you I'm going to prison. There's not a jury that's going to, in San Francisco, that's going to go, well, I mean, come on. You know why they did it? They did it because they did not want the narrative of we aren't protecting you if you come to our city. Now, I want you to, what if this illegal had decided to drag Kate Steinle behind a building and rape her? My suspicion is that San Francisco would probably be, it's really a shame she happened to be by the building. Man's got his needs. These people are crazy. And Curtis Blow wants you to believe, he wants you to believe that Donald Trump is a racist, that America is racist, that all we do, we project. Let me tell you what the projecting that's happening right now. The projecting that's occurring in America is the left, particularly the black left, but even the white enablers who are projecting on the whites and pushing this idea that you are racist, that you are bad people for whatever reason, and you are not even the majority people in the world. I don't even think at this point white people are the majority people in the United States. The question we should be asking Curtis Blow is, when does it end? Curtis Blow, Charles Blow. These are the breaks. Break it down. For those of you who know the Curtis Blow, you'll like that reference. Anyway, these people are crazy. I don't know what else to tell you. We got to take a short break. Back in a bit.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.